Welcome back to Do It Yourself full range hi-fi speakers. So today we're going to look at the part 2 of my 2.1 amp Mark 2, which you can see here in just deconstructed form, working on the cabinet assembly today and some of the issues around that. Please check out part 1 video for the unboxing of the components and some of the early thinking and planning for this project. This comes on the heels of part sort of the Mark 1 unit, which was simply a small 2.1 amp. A few more shots of the build here. You can see the front panel. I've used some red cedar. Turned out that's not the best material. I swapped it out for some hardwood in the end. Now here is some photos of the original power supply, which I had a problem with. There was no output volts or current whatsoever, so I'm negotiating with the vendor over that. It's a bit more of a description in the next segment of the video. So that was a bit of a disappointment, but I had a solution. I ended up taking the guts out of one of my little power bricks and using that. There's a shot showing the lack of power going to the amp, which has a little pilot light which wouldn't come on. So yeah, anyway, we worked out a workaround for that. So that photo there shows the little power brick power supply. It's only 3 amps, so probably not quite as much volume as the 4 amp. Okay, so we had a little setback with the failure of this power supply. Now, you might have used one of these before and had no problems, but I was having all sorts of problems getting anything out. Got 0 ohms, 0 volts DC, 0 current. So yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment, and the vendor was very difficult to communicate with. I think they really struggled with the English language, and I'm still trying to negotiate for a refund for that. But in the meantime, I took apart my little 12 volt 24 volt 3 amp power brick, which I was using to power these little amps in the past, and thought, oh well, if I crack that open, I've got a little power supply in here which I know works. So far so good. I've been able to turn it on. I've been able to run the power from my power cords adapt socket through to the main switch, which is the 240 volt switch here. Had to look up the instructions to get the little pilot light which operates inside the switch to come on, and all I needed for that was a wire to the neutral terminal on the supply plug. So, and then the switch occurs between the top and the middle terminals on the switch. So that's all good. I'm planning just to put some hot glue gun on these solders for insulation. This one doesn't look too crash hot, so I might just redo that one. Although on the back I've done it fairly well, so it should be pretty good. Now, so I'm getting power through to the DC end of the transformer, through that little, not sure what that is, a rectifier or a filter or something. I thought I'll leave that in the circuit. And then I'd already soldered these wires onto the inputs at the amplifier end. And so I just thought I'd just solder that through that join there. Yeah, not very professional, I know, but if it works, it works. Yeah, so I took the DC socket off here. I just thought that it'd be, it was in the way of the back plate anyway. It was sticking out another 2 millimeters or so, and it was going to interfere with my back panel of the cabinet. So yeah, just so I've put some glued on rails here for the top panel to screw onto. I want my top panel removable, and also want the back panel removable. So both those panels will be screw on, and I've put some little supports on here and also glued onto the inside of the side walls to screw into the back panel. Anyway, I'm going to start gluing up now. Give me a few minutes, a few hours, and we'll try and have this up to the next stage for you. Thank you. Bye. A couple of photos of the clamped up, glued up unit, and then some photos of the completed glued up unit, unfinished. You can see I used a piece of maple in the end for the front panel. Recommend maple on hardwood rather than softwood, cedar or pine. Just easier to machine, cleaner cuts, easier to route, etc., etc. There's a sound test coming up at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'll finish up with a greeting at the end. Thanks, bye.
On the first day of the journey, the traveler was prepared. Words of consolation were never heard. He didn't know where he was going, just a poem in his mind, and all the things he valued left behind. Running for the money, running for the fame, lost where he was going and forgot his name. The promised land was waiting, his vision led him on, but only promises were waiting, for the rest had gone. So he asked the band of travelers who turned the other way.
I forgot to mention those little speakers in the view there I made in parallel with these amplifier, and just using a little Samsung plastic tweeter and a Sony 2-inch mid driver from surround sound I picked up from a friend that was getting rid of it, otherwise it would have gone to landfill. And there's a Samsung passive subwoofer there to fill out the warm bass, which I'm quite happy with the sound of that combination, and I'll be putting them on the market shortly. I also wanted to make mention of the vents that I've put in here for cooling. So there's a couple of big heat sinks on both the amp and the power supply. So I've put vents over the top in the top panel for both of those. And so just a case of cutting a square hole, and then on the inside of those panels I've routed about a 2mm deep recess and glued on using the hot glue a little piece of aluminium mesh which was painted black. Now I got those from a old set of Sony surround sound speakers which came with these huge big aluminium grills on the front of them, and I've just kept those to one side, and they've come in handy for this project. So also I've put 2 additional vents on each side which give a bit of cross ventilation from side to side, both below and above the 2 circuit boards. Well, that's it, guys. It's been fun, and I've really enjoyed this project. It's been a lot of fiddling and hours of working out and construction. So we'll try and simplify it in future. I plan to draw it up on Sketchup in the meantime and have an actual Sketchup plan available. If anyone wants one, just reach out to me. Thanks for watching. If you've got this far, please like and subscribe, and take care, and peace and love. Cheers, bye.